What up, investors? What up, traders? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and we got a little bit of an update from the previous video that we did talking about AMC movie theaters and the potential of analysts kind of waving the red flag and even the white flag, if you want to put it that way, on the AMC basically will likely file for bankruptcy. It's still not 100% sure, but the firm is talking to a firm, and they're actually talking to the same firm that PG&E, was with the electric company that dealt with a lot of the wildfires in California, Fairway supermarket chain, and I don't know if you ever heard of it before, but Sears Holding, and basically, if you don't understand what Chapter 11 is, Chapter 11 doesn't mean that everyone just gets fired and laid off. It just basically it's restructured. They're actually able to pay down and basically get forgiven a lot of their debt, but it comes to a lot of strings on. It might be substantially harder to borrow credit, apply for different retail spots, and different various aspects of the businesses. So the AMC is down again. It's been down substantially even on last Thursday, and we have that 3-day weekend due to Easter holiday season. The overall AMC stores are still closed. They have been closed since I believe March 13th or mid-March. So basically, I have not paid any rent, and everyone saw the different various things that were going up out and about. Where the CEO of AMC furloughed 25,000 plus people. They said to all their landlords that they're not going to be able to pay for the month of April because we don't have a penny coming through the door. These are just not really good aspects to their business, and I think they're looking for any options and looking for suggestions on what to do regarding what next path they should do to keep this business up and running. And bankruptcy is basically the last thing you want to do. They're looking at potentially getting money from the government because, again, it was mostly the government telling them to, hey, you got to close down. A lot of AMC locations are in malls. So they're even saying if things, I'm doing air quotes right now, come somewhat back to normal, these crowds won't be kind of popping off, because if we do come back to normal in the May and June time frame, a lot of the big movie blockbusters have already been kicked down the road, and a lot of them actually have been released on direct streaming services, and there hasn't been a huge spotlight movie that, besides, I think it was like James Bond was one of the first ones that were saying like, hey, we're just going to kick it to the fall or winter whenever this is over, and looking forth on that. AMC is going to be a very hard road ahead. I really do hope that the executives are able to find a solution to save their 25,000 workers. It looks like the government has to come in to kind of give them kind of some stability, some kind of a cash injection, without taking a stake in the company, due to the fact of this was not a full-on AMC problem. Yes, AMC has not had the greatest balance sheet and a lot of heavy debt. I think $5+ billion they reported last year. So that's never a good sign, and a lot of their debt is due soon. So it's a lot of short-term debt that's really high and it's due very soon, and that's not a greatest combination on trying to withhold a place or time where you're not actually able to make zero money. They're not able to sell a single ticket. They're not able to sell a single a box of popcorn, bag of popcorn. They're not able to sell anything. Not that just lovely nacho cheese chips that I love and enjoy. They're not able to do any of that stuff right now, and I really do hope the best for them. So we're just going to go ahead and jump over to the chart here. Again, as we talked about before, the low was $1.95. Right now, this is, again, pre-market on Monday morning on April 13th. We're looking at the bid at $2.15 and the ask 3 cents up, so $2.18. So we're still down, actually substantially more down than we were on Thursday. We closed at 260, and I said that at the $1.95 area, it would probably be, I wouldn't say a bet, like I would like to, if I can get, I don't know, 100 shares here, and then walk that up to maybe $2.50, $3. It's a nice little return there, but this is just my opinions here and looking at what could happen. If it gets below $2, it's going to be super interesting to see what happens, because again, if we pop this all the way out to what happened, oh shoot, I forgot this was acquired by another company, so they didn't see the overall 0809, but basically we're hitting its all-time low on the sense of being just this is literally a call option, and this is how cheap this is priced right now. They have earnings coming up the 5th of May. Again, there's not going to be too much to report because majority of the quarter, or a month and a half, like a couple weeks of the quarter, basically they had no revenue coming in, and the amount of rent that's due, they're saying that they want to they want some kind of cash injection so they're able to pay the landlords, keep things up and running, so when the times do change, they're able to kind of slowly bounce back and get back into the things. That being said, the chart does not look satisfying at all. You see here, even in 2014, it had a nice run up to $34, came back down to the 200 here, didn't completely close below it, but broke below it a couple months in 16, and then bounced way back up to a double top, and then now coming back down, bouncing in late 17, early 18. That was due to a sell-off, and then we had the 18 debacle there, with the selling off here, and then going into just very bad, I want to say management, but it looks like they racked up a lot of debt after going through this different various following things, because you can look at here, the earnings here, they're all positive until here. They start losing money. Okay, they made a little money, because you can see here it's been positive. Then they added a little bit more here. They actually threw a nice dividend, a special dividend. It's usually 20 cents. They added $1.55. Like, that really boosted the stock for sure. But then it went back to negative numbers in the earnings. And then somewhat positive, kind of held it strong. Another negative number drew it down big. Positive was somewhat okay. This quarter, don't know what happened there. And then they had a positive quarter here, but that positive quarter on February 27th, it wasn't, the pandemic and COVID-19 wasn't at the forefront in the United States yet. It literally was another 2-3 weeks later. That's when it really hit home with a lot of people, but a lot of people already had information and knowledge of it. It was going worldwide. It was happening in China for sure. It was already starting to take off in Italy, and Spain, and I think a lot of people just got very anxious and just wanted to sell it short, just due to the fact of what was happening there that could reciprocate on what's happening here in the United States, within our borders. And that's just what's represented here. Like, there's just so much fear in the market right now on just trying to understand, is AMC going to survive? I really would like to see it survive. I think that the government has to help them out, to be quite honest. This is an issue that was not their fault. Yes, they haven't had the world's greatest balance sheet, but it's just like any other company. Like, this wasn't due to the fact of they're making super risky things, because if everything was still normal and would just carry on, they would have been able to pay their staff, they would have been able to pay their payroll, they would have been able to screen all the movies at their 1,000+ movie theaters around the globe. Business would have been normal, but I think this is a huge wake-up call for a lot of businesses, and I think it's the very first shot across the bow of the overall economy of like how fragile some businesses are. If you just don't have revenue for a whole month or a couple of weeks, you're just done. You're just tanking. You're just falling into the sea. You're falling out of the sky. You're just looking for any kind of lifeline. And I think that's going to be kind of ramping up just slightly within a lot of different companies, going into basically the next 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, you're going to see a lot of companies like, hey, I'm going to have to lay off 20,000 people because I'm going to be able to make payroll. We kind of saw that with the overall onslaught of travel. Now we're seeing it in entertainment, and it might trickle down to other different various venues and so forth. That being said, those are my views. Again, my opinions, my views. Would I be trading AMC? Maybe not. I might swing trade it just to see on what the news is around it. And again, I would be looking at if it breaks the low. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Again, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.